So on Tuesday, February 3rd, 27-year-old Nathan Smith, the son of famous rapper Lil John, was reported missing after leaving his home in Milton, Georgia. Now, Nathan also took after his dad professionally and was in the music industry, so a lot of people refer to him as DJ Young Slade. That was the name he went by professionally. So you may have seen mixed reports between DJ Young Slade and Nathan Smith, but it is Lil Jon's son.
I DJ, I produce, I engineer, and I'm an artist. And my dad is the king of crunk, Lil John.
One day he told me he wanted to learn how to DJ. This was 11 years old.
It's funny, my dad never wanted me to be in music. He just wanted me to do whatever I wanted to do. But honestly, I wasn't good at anything else. I tried sports and it just wasn't for me at all.
Now, the reason that he was immediately reported as a missing person was because apparently he left the home under what the police describe as, quote, unusual circumstances. Now, what exactly these unusual circumstances were have not been fully described in the press, though we do know a few different things, okay? For one, he left on foot. No car, no ride share, no friend picking him up, none of that. He also didn't take his phone with him. He left it behind. Now, the last thing that we know about these unusual circumstances is that he, quote, ran out of his home. So quite literally on foot. And this was around 6 a.m. on the 3rd, so very early morning. Now, it might seem like that detail of him running out of the house versus just walking out of the house isn't that important in the grand scheme of things, but it does give, to me at least, a pretty good idea of what his mental state potentially was like at the time. It seemed as though he needed to get out of there as soon as possible, or wherever he was trying to go, he wanted to get there as quickly as possible. One report even noted that Nathan, quote, may be disoriented and in need of assistance. Family and friends are concerned for his safety, end quote. So right away, as you can imagine, there was a huge search with multiple different law enforcement and emergency agencies assisting. However, their searches were coming up blank. They weren't finding Nathan. They weren't sure where he went off to. They couldn't really find any clues as to where he went or why. So then, sometime between February 3rd, when Nathan first went missing, and 3 days later, February 6th, the agencies seemed to switch gears in their search process. They started now expanding their searches very specifically to a pond in Mayfield Park, which is pretty close to Nathan's home. Which to me, when I first heard that, that told me that, okay, at this point, they were possibly looking into alternatives that weren't necessarily a rescue, but more so a recovery mission, looking in bodies of water, looking in places where he wouldn't, be concealed and they would have to actually look a little bit deeper. So on February 6th, the dive teams got involved in this pond area. And the pond was honestly pretty big. So when I first looked into it and looked at the actual scale of it and saw that dive teams were going in, I wondered if this was going to be some days-long thing where they were going to have to, I forget what the tool is that they use, but scrape the bottom of the floor. They did that with, and it wasn't a pond,